Hello, everybody. We're sorry to keep you waiting. We had a little bit of a technical issue there, but we are now here and ready to start our webinar today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to share my screen. Our cool, fancy software would not connect, and so we got to do this in sort of a. I mean, it won't matter to you, but I like to use my stuff, you know. So I've got Dex, the algo capitalist, with me right now. How you doing, Dex?
Glad to be here.
As always, let me real quick grab this so I can see what's going on in the comments. I want to be able to take questions today. All kinds of technical difficulties. We are live. All right, cool. So this is our PulseWave trading webinar. Rogue News, V and his team were gracious enough to host us for today's webinar. This is PulseWave trading for beginners. And basically what we do on these webinars is just show you how the system works. Many of you have been hearing about Dex and what he does for years. And you're wondering what it would be like to be involved in his actual trading room, which is now found at watchustrade.io. And Dex and I are there day to day, running that room, using the PulseWave price triggers to help people get into the market at just the right spot and get out of the market at just the right spot. And so we're going to walk you through what it looks like to be a part of that room. And we do this almost every Friday around 1 p.m. Eastern. And for right now, we're just going to broadcast these directly to Rogue News. Sometimes we might be on PulseWave Trading, which is our other YouTube channel. By the way, if you look in the live chat there, you see you'll see the PulseWave Trading account there. You can click on that. Please head over there and subscribe to that channel. That's where Dex and I do our live shows Sunday through Friday, pretty much at this point. Dex, we've been pretty consistent. We had a couple days off this week because you were doing stuff and I was doing stuff, but we're doing Frank Trades with Dex almost every day now. And then Sunday evenings, we do a great show called the Pre-Market Pulse Scan, where Dex shows you what's likely to pulse wave that week, what has indicators that it's going to pulse wave that week. So even if you're not a member, you'll get a rundown of what to keep your eye on if you're in the markets. And so that's really helpful. That's usually Sundays around between 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern before the markets open. And then every day around 10:30, we go live with Frank Trades with Dex, and we take your chart requests and stuff like that. Oh, no, wait, I messed it up because we changed our schedule. Now we're doing at 10:30, we do the Daily 10 with V. That's our market snapshot where Dex tells us what's going on in the news. And sometimes he's just talking about, where the Dow is today and stuff like that. Other times it's news that Dex thinks is really important to watch out for the markets, for the crypto markets, for the equities markets, whatever it is. And that's every day around 10:30. And then right after that, we do Frank Trades with Dex, where we take your chart requests, we answer your questions about really anything. And so anything to do with the markets and more. Today we spent considerable time talking about Dex's favorite what was the word? Brutal is the word you used. Brutal favorites playlist, which he shared with the room. So we're talking heavy metal. Hey Brian, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us. So let's get started. And what we're going to do today is really simple. We're going to talk about what the pulse waves are. And this is for beginners, not beginners in the room. This is for people who are not even in the room yet. Okay. We're going to tell you what the pulse wave price triggers are and how you can use them in the market. We'll give you just a little taste of what it looks like so you get an idea of what it would be like to be part of our room at watchustrade.io. Okay. Before we do that, though, we're going to talk about our general advice disclosure. Dex, I've heard rumors that trading can be risky.
Absolutely.
So why don't you talk about that?
More than what's in your account. You should only use risk capital only. Risk capital is money that you can afford to lose without it changing your lifestyle. And trading carries with it enormous risks. If you'd like to read more about our risk disclosures, you can do that on our website.
Absolutely. And I think I'm sharing it effectively here. Let's go. I got to take a look at the live stream. I don't have V here to tell me if I'm doing everything right. First, I got to skip this ad. Man, they're killing me today. Anyway, so that's our general advice disclosure. It's very important. Read it, memorize it, set it to music, and sing it to your children when you put them to bed at night, because we mean it. Yes, I am sharing my screen. Very good. So, PulseWave trading for beginners. Something I always like to impress upon people when we're getting started here is, if you have changes, things that you want to do in your life, you really need to take action on them to see them become a reality. You know, I've for years in my old career, in my current career, dealt with people who always talking about that thing that they want to do, that thing that they want to try, that they're going to do, you know, next week or next month. And there's always something in the way to keep you from getting started. And for, you know, if you're a Rogue News fan, you care about the markets, you're intrigued by the markets, you're interested in money and how money's made. I'm going to venture to bet that a lot of you would like to be involved in the markets, but there's, you know, this week isn't good because there's just too much going on. Just like this week is a bad week to start your diet, or this week is a bad week, you know, to do whatever. that's how getting started in the markets is for a lot of people. And, you know, what I would just press upon you for a minute is that the weeks and months go by very quickly. And if you really want to make a change in your life and in the way that you live your life and the way you operate, you've got to get started. You've got to pull the trigger on that. And so everything we're going to talk about, and this is actually a really good time. We're redoing our website. We're just days, doubtfully weeks, but days away from launching our new website with our new pricing, where you will not get the same pricing that we have now. It's going up. And so our current monthly subscription rate, you will never see a product from us below that. I'll tell you that. It'll only be above that. And so Brian says last week is the best week to sign up. Yep, last week is the best week indeed. Yeah, we've seen some amazing moves this week in the room, and people are having a lot of fun. People are getting the hang of it, and it's really cool. So now's the time is all I wanted to say about that. And we're going to get into it, though. So to start off, we just want to talk about what PulseWave trading is. And I know this is a goofy looking presentation I'm doing, but it's just easier for me. So Dex, last week, it's funny, I was listening to the playback of last week's, and I was really distracted, like just trying to do the technical stuff of making sure all the streams were working.
Yeah.
And I asked you what PulseWave trading was, and you gave this total like stupid BS answer just to mess with me. And you went on and on with it, and it was actually really funny. And then when you were done, I said, "Okay, great," and I moved on. So you were like 100% just messing with me, and I wasn't listening. And so when you were done, I was like, "All right, cool." And I remember while you were saying it, I was like, "What's he talking about?" So this week I'm listening to make sure that you actually say what we need to hear. So what are the pulse waves? And this is, I want like a 2-3 minute answer. What are the pulse waves? How did you get started with it? You know, maybe pepper in a little bit of your story there. You know, people have been listening to you for years on Rogue and your own channel and other places. What are the pulse waves? How did you come up with them? And then I will actually show people what they look like and how to use them and stuff like that.
Okay. That's a very good question.
And your mic sounds great, by the way. It's like a relief to me.
Thanks to you.
We finally fix it.
What are the pulse waves? Well, first of all, it started out many moons ago when I used to do everything with a pen and some paper, and I would manually do my own charts.
Really?
All the basic technical indicators of the day, I computed by hand and put it on pencil and paper.
Wait, is this a joke too, or are you
no?
Serious?
It took
you really
me.
Used to do that?
It took me 2.5 hours.
Holy cow!
Just to produce like 5 securities.
And this is like what, 20 years ago, 25 years ago?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
I did it by hand, and it took me 2.5 hours just to get like 5 securities done. I'm not kidding. And I started off.
You've never told me this story.
Yeah, I started off with bonds and live cattle futures and the NASDAQ, S&P, whatever. And that's what I would do, you know, and I did it by hand, and it was gruesome. It was grueling. I'm talking about the standard technical indicators that come in, your average trading broker software package. I was doing all that computation by hand.
Wow.
Exactly. So it was very difficult. I mean, just to get one indicator, and I would have several. And then one day, because I didn't have a computer, so one day, a buddy of mine gave me his old 486,
Wow.
and it took 20 minutes to boot up, which was no problem. But I was
You
able to,
turn it on, go make your coffee.
yeah, I was able to though take my, the beginnings of my system to the next level because the computer had Excel spreadsheets on there. So when I started, putting everything on the spreadsheet, and it was like night and day. I was able to, do the computer could do my computations a lot faster, and I was able to do what I wanted to do, and so everything grew from there. And then, the rest is pretty much history. So the pulse waves basically, it's a very complicated schematic because I'm taking a bunch of different things
Mhm.
and then molding it into one.
Yeah.
Imagine baking a pie, baking a cake,
Mhm.
roasting a turkey, making gumbo, and then mixing it all in a bowl, taking all of that already cooked separately,
Yeah.
and then mixing it into a bowl, and then making it into a big ball. And then taking that ball and giving pieces out to everybody and say, how does it taste? And they say, this is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted in my life. How did you do that? That's what the pulse waves are. I take short-term trading indicators, mix them with long-term
Wow.
trading indicators. I take um, day trading systems and methodologies, combine them with swing trading and long-term trading methodologies, and then I throw in some buy and hold methodologies, and then I take hundreds of different technical indicators, trend following indicators, momentum following indicators. Then take all that and I basically destroy them because then I take into account some other things that I've learned throughout the years, like the things I teach you guys with the 2 bar Charlie method, things like that.
Mhm.
And I mix those in, and then after I've done all of that, I add in the algorithms, and then I make the algorithms. I sick them loose on all the other stuff, and whatever comes out on top at the end of that is what I get. And so it's been condensed to crash alerts and rally alerts
Mhm.
and trend momentum indicators.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it is. It's been all of that has been deduced to rally alerts, crash alerts, and trend momentum. That tells
Wow.
me everything I need to know about a particular market. Just those 3 technical indicators.
I'm going to show people. I have this little clip that I play. Should take up my screen. Actually, it didn't work. Let me try that again. See if I can get this to work. Oh, that's annoying. For
Oh,
some
there it is. I
reason.
see it.
No, that's not it. This is it.
Okay.
So, you see it now?
Yep.
It's like a presentation, real clean looking.
Yes, very.
So this is a little video I have. This is an older sheet, but this is a little quick video of me taking one of the PulseWave price trigger sheets and summarizing it down to a bullish rally alert for our crypto sheet. The sheet has more in the trend momentum info now, but that's what you're all looking at right now. That's how quick it was for me to find out all of the things that had a rally alert, which means they're very likely to pulse wave that day. And at that point, we had over 80 cryptos that we were following. Let me play that one more time. Let me go back a little. Sorry, guys. So you could see I take that spreadsheet and within a second, summarize it down to what was. This is not the only way that we use our sheets. There's a couple different ways to use them that are even, I think, even more powerful. But this is just an example of how you get this report and it tells you exactly where to enter the market and it tells you what is likely to go up or down that day, excuse me. And not only that, but the trend momentum column then tells you what kind of market you're trading. And the idea behind that is, it's one thing to have an equity go up for the day or go down for the day, but your sort of psychology about that trade is going to change based on what you know about the market factors. And we boil down, Dex's algorithm boils down what's happening in that particular market. When I say particular, I don't mean cryptos, I mean like Ethereum. What's happening in Ethereum? What is the market condition of Ethereum? And we have, with one simple number, we can tell you if it's in a full-blown bull market, if it's in a full-blown bear market, if it's in a weak bull market, if it's in a bull market that is currently retracing, so you should probably tighten your stops and maybe even get out. We boil all of that down to 3 numbers. And it's an extremely powerful way to use it. Now, if you're experienced in trading, you're going to realize the power of that just by checking one number and comparing it to our sheet that tells you what the numbers mean, which is really, you'll memorize it before you know it. I have. It doesn't take long to do that. But if you have some experience in the market, you know how incredibly valuable information like that can be. If you're inexperienced in the market, you can ignore all of that. And let's say you're a person, you just want to trade Bitcoin, you want to trade BitTorrent and Ethereum. That's all you're interested in. Or maybe you're a Forex person, you just want to trade the Aussie dollar, the Euro yen, the Canadian dollar, whatever it is. You don't even have to look at any of that. You just use the entry price and you just use the long entry or the short entry prices and set your stop losses according to the instructions in the sheet, which we teach you how to do day one. We show you how to do that. And it's very, very simple. You're just taking 2 numbers and inputting them into the broker of your choice to place your order and your stop loss. And then from there, we've developed an incredibly simple way. I say we, by we I mean Dex. Dex has developed an incredibly simple system for setting stop losses once you're in profit on a trade. And we call that 2-bar Charlie. And so we teach everybody how to use 2-bar Charlie. Extremely simple and easy to use. So that's what the PulseWaves are. They come out as a report, and we have 5 different reports that we post every day. The PulseWave price triggers for cryptos, for equities, for the indices, for the futures, and for Forex. And right now, this is subject to change in the future. We're debating how we're going to do it. But for right now, you get all 5 of those at one low monthly price. At the very least, that low monthly price is about to go up in the next week or so. But right now, you get all 5. You get grandfathered in at getting all 5 for the current price. So that's really what it's about. And when you're talking about PulseWave trading, what it comes down to is using those price triggers to place orders. And we have some tools, for example, to show you what it's like. And there's that video. I can't wait until we're done so I can go find out why this video isn't working. All our other videos are working. It's just that one. I'm convinced that it was Mr. Kung Fu's fault. So, and he's not at his computer to defend himself today. So, for example, we have this 4 phases of PulseWave trading, and this is one of my favorite tools that we have. And if you're starting with a new trade actually starts at phase 4. And what it looks like to trade the PulseWaves is the PulseWaves are extremely adaptable to your particular style and taste. So if you're a person, what we call a 15-minute a day trader, you can use what we call the What Easy Weekly to place your trades, maybe just Sunday night or Monday morning. We do our 5 p.m. pre-market pulse scan. You already have the sheets at that point, and you can decide what you're trading for the whole week that day based on the weekly sheet that comes out on Sunday. And that's a person who, you're going to place a trade and just check your stops from time to time, and get what comes out. If you're more aggressive, you're the opposite end. You want to trade, you want to be placing new trades and updating trades every day. You would use our daily sheet, place your orders, check your stops every day, maybe place new orders every day when the sheets come out or the morning after they come out. And you could use that. And so, we have those 2 styles and everything in between of people. Some of us like to spend, a couple hours a day looking at the markets. there's plenty of info for there to satisfy that desire. And then it's basically about moving your stop losses once you're in a trade. And we have the absolute best system for doing that, 2-bar Charlie. Plus, we have this little grid that helps you make a decision about when and where to move your stops. So, and then we show you how to add to your positions and stuff like that. So, the thing is with using the PulseWave system, you have that big giant ball of stuff that Dex talked about earlier, which is in fact delicious. You have all that being summarized right into these very simple reports like the one that I'm showing you now. And I always say, if you're like me, you hate looking at a spreadsheet. That's why, I don't work in an office somewhere. I'm incapable of that kind of thing. That said, when I look at the PulseWave price trigger sheets, being a guy who doesn't really like working with numbers, to be honest with you, someone who's more of a creative type myself, I know exactly how to use these. Super easy to use the long entry, buy, stop, and the stop loss to place long and short trades, whether it's in Forex or equities or cryptos or whatever it is. I can go in there, grab the info I need, and place a couple trades. Now, for an example of like a totally opposite style of the two styles that I said, at the moment right now, me and our partner, Mr. Kung Fu, that's what we call him, Kung Fu has got me absolutely obsessed with BitTorrent, which is a crypto. Right now, to be honest with you, the only thing I'm trading is BitTorrent. And I've been using the PulseWave price triggers to help me get in to BitTorrent and get out of BitTorrent at the right times. And so I've been riding the PulseWave price triggers on that, and I've been doing incredibly well. And that's literally the only thing I'm trading. Is that worth the price of admission into the trading? If you've got, you got an account that's a reasonable size, absolutely, it's worth it. So that's just an example. You can be a person who trades constantly throughout the day, or maybe you're just trading one thing. I know Dex does that pretty often, actually, don't you, Dex? Where you're really just focused on one equity for the week. You'll just focus on the QID all week or whatever.
Yep.
And Dex actually encourages people to narrow their focus because it helps you get really used to particular things. So that's what the pulse waves are, and we have a whole website. That's not the website. This is the website. We have an entire website that only our members have access to. It's password protected. There's that video. It's been burning me for out. We've been live.
Taunting you.
We've been live for a while, and I keep coming to this page to show people things and help people out, and it's been taunting me the whole time. I should have just taken 5 minutes and gone and fixed it in between. But we have this whole website that gets you started quickly with what we're doing. So, for example, our Forex Quick Start Guide. It shows you which brokerage we recommend. It shows you how to read the sheets that I was just showing you in detail. Show you how to set up your charts so that you can use our system to the fullest. We show you how to place orders and set stop losses. We show you our stop loss rules. Now, even this may seem overwhelming to people. The truth is, if you just take it one step at a time, it really isn't. We show you how to use 2-bar Charlie. These tools are, if you sort of just relax and go slow, most people find this very, very easy to get started with. And so, and if you don't find it easy, guess what? You have access to me. You have access to Dex. I spent a good, several hours this week just one-on-one with people who are having some issues, showing them how to use the PulseWave price triggers, showing them how to get the most out of their trading as members that watch us trade. And that's something that we love doing and are happy to do when people are having issues. So that's our first stop for today, is what is PulseWave trading. What does it take to trade every day? That's what I've been covering. So I kind of got way ahead of us on that one. Third thing we're going to cover, this is a good one. What types of accounts and amount of capital will you need to trade with? So this is a very frequent question that we get. And there's actually very straightforward questions on this. First, let me deal with the two, probably, if you're limited on capital, okay? In other words, you don't have a lot of money or cryptos to trading with. The easiest thing to get started with is Forex and cryptos, because Oanda.com has no minimum virtually for trading. We've seen people open accounts there with as little as $40. I think you could probably do like $10 if you had to. We also, with cryptos, if you can open a Binance account and throw something in it, you can certainly start practicing with $50 worth of cryptos. And if you're brand new to cryptos, we have a course. Once you join, we have a course that you will have access to right on our members site called Core Curriculum for Crypto Newbies. And we show you how to buy Bitcoin, where to buy Bitcoin, and you just click on these links. Here's 3 ways to buy Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We'll show you how to do that the simplest way. So we have that basics class for crypto people. And again, with cryptos, it's very small amount. Binance does have like a minimum trade. Like you can't do a $5 trade. I think you have to do like a $10 trade or something like that. But to practice and get started, it's very little. Now, if you're looking to trade equities, we use Thinkorswim most of the time. We show people how to use that. You don't have to use Thinkorswim, right, Dex?
No, you don't.
But some solid broker. Thinkorswim has a minimum deposit of $3,500 to open an account. So that's important. And if you have less than 25K in there, you can't day trade. But the PulseWaves, while you can use the PulseWaves for day trading, that's not our primary focus. You can absolutely use them for day trading, but that's not our primary thing. So if you can open an account with Thinkorswim, that's $3,500 you can use. Plus, we have the some new products that have come on the market that you can even trade. The futures with some of these new mini futures ETFs that have come out recently, which I know Dex is fond of. So that helps if you have a smaller account and you're using Thinkorswim. So those are your basics. You can get started with next to nothing, or you can, $3,500 you can get into the equities with Thinkorswim. Very simple to do. There's a question here in the live. And by the way, folks, please throw questions in the live chat. We're watching it here so we can respond to you. Bitcoin crypto basics should be buying XRP and how to hold safely offline. LOL. Okay. Yeah, we do have some stuff on how to hold it and send it safely. So we do have basics. So next, how do you use the PulseWave price triggers to place orders for trades? Again, I got way ahead of myself in order to use that. Basically, there's 2 key numbers. So here's our Forex sheet, for example. You have 5 columns of interest. Well, I mean, this tells you the instrument over here. The C column tells you if you were going to go long, it tells you what your long entry would be. If you're going to go short, the F column shows you where you would place your stop order to go short. And for those of you, this language may be a little over your head. If you're new to trading, that's okay. You'll figure this out soon. But we always use a stop order. Okay, on Binance, it's called a stop limit order. Other places just call it a stop order. We always stop into trades, meaning we tell the market, I don't want to buy it until it hits this price, or I don't want to sell it until it hits this price. That's what a stop order does. So instead of just paying too much for something, you're telling the market, don't place my order until it hits this price. So on this one, you would be saying, I don't want to get into this particular instrument, the Aussie dollar, until it hits this price. And in this case, we're doing Forex, it would be OANDA. And so you place your order saying, when it hits this, get me in and use this as my stop loss. Alternatively, you could be saying, listen, I'm not sure which direction it's going to go. So I'm going to place a sell order at this price and go short. And this long entry would be my stop loss. And you'd place those the night before the market even opens. And you could place both of those orders. And in fact, that would be wise because the indicators for the day was a narrow range breakout, not sure which direction the market is going to go. And this -20 tells us that it was the momentum was in retracement mode. Okay. So that's actually one of the more complicated signals you'd get. So if you look, and here's a great thing, you could say, well, man, that's a lot to know. One of the things we tell members is, if you're looking at the signals for the day and you're like all befuddled by them, maybe that's not the trade for you until you learn more. So that's part of the beauty. Like you'd be looking for a more straightforward trade than that one. And actually Forex has been kind of weird lately this week. So it's hard to find a straightforward trade. Here's a straightforward trade. Most Americans won't be able to trade it, but platinum, you've got a crash alert in a bear market. Great. That's a perfect trade for most people. And this would be your short entry. This would be your stop loss. So that's a very straightforward trade. So that's really it. And what I just showed you, we have videos where we take you by the hand and say, okay, now copy this number. Now go back to Oanda, click this button, then click this button. And we show you in detail exactly how we do it so that you can follow along with those trades. So it's really that simple. Anything to add to that, Dex?
Nope, I think you covered it thoroughly.
Why, thank you. All right, here's what we're gonna do. If you have questions for us today, and we do, it's great. We have some people watching. We've been so busy with our website, we haven't really promoted this one that much. So we really appreciate you guys showing up and watching. We weren't sure anybody would be here. So what I want to show you, just 5 things we love about Watch Us Trade and the PulseWave price triggers. And we're going to go through that. And then as soon as I'm done with that, that'll just take a minute or two. Then we're going to take your questions. So that can be anything. It can be a chart you want us to look at that we've did a couple hours of looking at charts for people already today. Questions about the system, questions about any clarity you want, you ask us, and we'll show you what to do. Okay. Now, if you're ready to just join us, there's a link in the description. You just click right on that and jump on in, and you'll see that right there on Rogue News, and it's good to go. Now, one thing that I didn't tell people, I said we have those 5 sheets, but one thing you have to know, we trade over I think it's over 1,400 different things every day. Yeah, and obviously, so, and, as is very common, we have people in fact, just last week, someone sent a message to my assistant asking for, I'd say 10, 15 new symbols to be added to the PulseWave price triggers. Got that to Dex. They get added very quickly because Dex is no longer using pencil and paper. Now he has, the whole system. Obviously, that was 20 plus years ago. It's very easy for him to add something. So if there's some particular weird little crypto or stock or whatever it is that you want added to the PulseWaves, Dex is able to add that. So with the system, it's not that we're looking at all 1,400 every day to trade. It's just that whatever you're into trading, you can trade it using the PulseWave price triggers. That's what's awesome about the system. So let me get into this 5 things that we love about Watch Us Trade and the PulseWave price triggers. First off is the PulseWave price trigger system. And I had never heard the beginning of it the way you told it today. That was pretty awesome. I started with a 480 pencil and paper, and then a 486. That was really cool. I was like mesmerized by that story. So it's been over 20 years that Dex has been tinkering with it. And I can tell you, Dex and I have been working together for months, and it seems like every few weeks I'll get him on for one of our live shows, and before we start, he's like, "I'm in the lab, man. I'm in the lab. I know I got surprises for you. And it's like just when I think I finished all the tutorial videos for everybody, Dex comes out with some awesome upgrade to make things easier and better and more focused, and come out with a whole new sheet. He's just always adding cool stuff to the system. So the PulseWaves, over 20 years of development, really powerful system for trading. And, those of you who've been out there and you're in rooms where people are just looking at charts and waiting for moves, and, it's a lot of stress, you're waiting for the alerts. This is a very, depending on your style, you can tailor it to whatever style you want, but it's a very laid back way to trade. You put your stop orders in and you see if that trade works out. And if it doesn't, you're out with a small loss. If it does, man, it's just so much fun. And it's, the system is very good. So you see a lot of strong benefit coming from using it. So that's the first thing. Second thing, we've created a simple, low stress, high reward experience. And I keep getting, I'm so used to doing this talk, Dex, that I'm consistently 2 steps ahead of myself today.
Yeah, you're doing it in your sleep. You know what that means, though? It means that you are becoming an expert with the system, which is the end game anyway.
Yep.
So you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, and I find that people who struggle, I've been saying this a lot lately, and most, it's okay if you're struggling. Don't be hard on yourself. Everybody goes at different speeds, different paces. But I find usually if people are struggling, it's because you're sort of expecting some complexity that's just not there. It's usually a lot. It's a very simple system. That said, we have the advanced sheets. You can dig into the indicators all day and go crazy with that stuff. So whatever your personality type, you can tailor the PulseWaves to it. So we've created, a simple thing, and I showed you guys our I keep going the wrong way. I showed you guys our what members site that has all of our tutorials, and it'll we have a video for just about everything, and when we don't, or when you just need more help, we go live with people. Okay, so it's a great experience. Trade anything like a pro with a pro. Cool things about the price triggers. You got Dex, and whatever it is you're into trading, you can ask questions live in our chat room. And I haven't really emphasized this. One of the ways we communicate, and this is not changing, by the way, when we have our new service, this is actually not going to change, and that is using we like Slack as our chat app, and we have people in here. You can see there's Dex interacting with people along with our members, and these are people. Dex, somehow I missed the heavy metal thing. You're talking about Meshuggah and Gojira.
Oh yeah.
I missed that whole I've been out of the room too long this morning. I don't know why this was posted, but that's amazing. So
we do have a question in there. Did you see it?
No, I'll get to it in a second. So, good questions. We get questions in here all the time. Dex is on top of it. I'm on top of it as well. But when we say trade anything like a pro with a pro, we're there with you. It's not 24/7 where you're gonna be in trouble if you miss something, but it is. We are there to help. So, all right, what's our question? Let's see. How do you hedge against possible stock market downturns? Do you have any indicators alerts that show early indicators before losing too much?
You want to take it, or do you want me to take it?
No, you take it, man.
Okay.
I'll cut you off if you go too long, though, because
Great.
I know you could talk about this for an hour, so I will interrupt you.
All right. The way you hedge against stock market downturns on your long positions is by using what are called stop losses.
Yeah. Stop
losses will get you out of the trade when it becomes no longer profitable to stay in it.
And let me interrupt already. We have stop losses built into the system, so the price triggers will actually give you the stop losses ahead of time, and then we have an incredibly simple system for moving your stops once you're in profit, and that's in my view, and I think Dex as well, one of the best parts about the system. Sorry, go ahead, Dex.
Yes, and as far as indicators and alerts, yeah, I mentioned that when he asked me about what to explain the system. We have what is called crash alerts, and that's one of the tools that we use, and that lets us know in advance if there's something going on in the market that we should be aware of, as far as is there going to be are we at a potential sell-off? Are we at a potential topping point in the market, or is there something else going on behind the scenes? That's how those crash alerts come up, and then the price triggers themselves is the confirmation of said indicators. And so
that's essentially what the system. It's like you're asking, does the system have that? Which is a great question. But it's actually like that's what the system is. Like the system is all about predicting movements like that.
Exactly. And someone else commented that laughter and making money do not mix. Tell that to Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy. I'm sure they've laughed many times all the way to the bank. And we have a lot of comedy and humor, because you can't take yourself too seriously, and you have to be able to laugh at yourself and laugh at the pleasant things in life. We don't keep negative attitudes, because you won't make any money with a negative attitude.
Word.
Straight up.
Word. All right, cool. And by the way, I'm commenting as Rogue News right now. That's not V. That's me being here. I'm logged into his account. Next, good questions. Keep the questions coming. Next, start trading fast. We showed you we have our quick start guides and stuff like that. The quick start guides, I'm starting to think I need to rename them, because I think some people think those are like the short version. That's like it. All you need is a quick start guide. We have other stuff that you can continue to learn and grow on in using the system and as a trader. But and I'll say this too, Dex, there's kind of two sides, and I don't even know if you're going to like me saying this. You can yell at me. there are things I've learned just from trading with you where even if I'm not looking at the pulse waves, I can see where resistance coming. I can see where there's going to be pull on something. I can see where there's going to be danger just from talking with you every day and using the system and knowing how to use 2-bar Charlie and knowing how to look at the Kuma cloud. Like that stuff is extremely helpful even without the pulse wave price triggers. And so, you're helping people to look at the market quick and see what's going on, which is awesome. Then you add that giant ball of stuff that you put into a blender that are the pulse wave price triggers. And now you've got like the secrets beneath the surface of what's going on in the market, which is really powerful.
Exactly. The algos tell you the real story. They tell you the news behind the news.
Yes.
And they act as the alternative news.
Mm-hmm.
And the chart that you're looking at that your broker gives you is the mainstream news.
Mm-hmm.
So we're giving you the story that's behind the story that they don't want you to know, and they don't want to talk about. They're hiding. So we reveal those things to you, and we give you the tools and the education so that you will be able to make better informed decisions about your long-term investments, your short-term trading goals, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we've had, people say, what if something crazy happens like a black swan in the markets? And there's times when, we're trading it right along and something happens and you get stopped out or whatever. Of course there is, it's normal, standard operating procedure. But there are other times when something looks like it's going to be great and the pulse waves are saying, no, this crash alerts. And all of a sudden, the whole crypto market will crash because of some news. And it's like, well, looking at a chart, everything looked like it was going to be great, but the system gave us crash alerts last night. So we all tightened up our stops on whatever we were in. And sure enough, some crazy news comes out that nobody knew about. And somehow the pulse waves picking up all of those weird signals that are thrown throughout the market got us ready for it. And it doesn't always happen, but man, it happens a lot. And sometimes it's just creepy. That's why me and V make fun of Dex and say that his whole, I'm a Christian thing is a lie. He's actually a pagan warlock, burning animal parts in his when he says lab, he's literally dissecting things in a lab for his cauldron because it gets creepy sometimes. So it's very cool.
We can't. We're laughing, but like we said earlier, we're laughing all the way to the bank because you can't make this stuff up. We're laughing because he's telling you the truth, folks. You got to come to the trading room and see for yourself.
You said he's telling the truth. Which part of it?
As far as the uncanny ability of the pulse waves to signal up and coming moves in the market that you can't even tell or even know that's coming. And it has an uncanny way of doing it. And that's from years of work that I've put into it. And don't take our word for it. Come see it for yourself. And you will be amazed. I guarantee you will be.
Hey, before we take any other questions, Dex, do me a favor and throw a comment in there from your PulseWave account.
Okay.
And I have a reason for that. Just say hey or whatever.
Okay.
Do us a favor. We appreciate you liking and subscribing. Obviously, if you're on Rogue is we all love Rogue. But if you would, Dex just commented. If you click on that and head over to our other channel, PulseWave Trading, give us a subscribe and check us out. We have our daily show, Frank Trades with Dex. We have our Sunday night show. Next show we'll be Sunday night around 5, between 5 and 6 usually, depending on what's going on. Sometimes we do it Monday morning, but usually Sunday night. We have the pre-market pulse scan, and that's an awesome thing. So please like and subscribe to PulseWave Trading. That's where me and Dex are on a daily basis when we're not on Rogue, and we appreciate you checking that out. And also give a thumbs up to this stuff. Listen, with the second coming of the adpocalypse, people like V and others are going to need your support more than ever. So, please make sure you're subscribing. You might get unsubscribed by YouTube. Who knows? We don't know what's going on. But if you guys like this kind of content or his kind of content, make sure to support. Fifth, create the life you want. So here's the thing. I talked about this in the beginning. If you want to make changes in your life, you have to actually make them. You've got to pull the trigger on stuff. And now's a great time to do that with Watch Us Trade before our new website and rebrand comes up. I'll let you guys guess what our rebranding is going to be. But for now, you go to watchustrade.io. This is a great time to get started with that and to make those changes in your life. And we'd love to have you. We have a great time, and we keep it low stress, and it's a lot of fun. So we'd love to have you. Now, if you join today, you do get full access to all our trade sheets. The link is in the description. all our tutorials and content, all our live sessions. There's no tiered memberships at Watch Us Trade at this point. There may be in the future, but we're not sure about that. We're debating it internally. Lots of fighting and throwing things and yelling and cuss words and whatnot.
Don't forget the biting. A lot of biting.
Especially from Dex. He's a psychopath to work.
I'm a fighter.
He's very nice on YouTube. Behind the scene, he cries and screams and breaks his computer and stuff like that. It's hard. It's terrifying.
I want my mother.
What'd you say?
I want my mommy.
He's got all kinds of deep issues, this man. He's a psychopath. So join today. You get full access to everything at the current price, and we're going to keep that price the same for the foreseeable future. I'd say at least 6 months for anybody who joins now. And so get in, benefit, start learning, start trading. And it's always good on the weekends. You can sort of look at stuff and poke around and wait for the markets to open back up and start trading on Sunday night. So
and don't drag your feet, because there are things that are coming around the corner here. You're not going to have time to react. Mm-hmm. Only those individuals who are already in the market will be able to really participate in it. And I'm talking once in a lifetime opportunities are coming.
Yeah.
You know, those $100 moves in gold are coming back again. All right. Those $5 moves in silver are coming back again very soon. The 1,000% rally in the gold miners is coming again soon. I can't stress that enough. Bitcoin back up to 20,000 is coming soon.
Yeah,
all these things are in.
And if it hits 20 is going to be a pit stop,
folks. You have no idea.
20 will be where Bitcoin stops to pee on its way to where it's going.
There's so much news that is being kept from the American people. You don't even know how much we're blacked out on stuff until you watch foreign news channels. I'm serious. If you could watch foreign, you will be like, what are they talking? That's not happening. And then there they are showing you that it is happening, and you didn't know about it because your government's not telling you, and your government is turning up a notch with censorship, even here on YouTube and social media. They don't want to lose control of their narrative. So that's why things are changing.
I just dropped a link in the live chat, and we have a free Telegram. So, you know, with YouTube being weird right now, very weird right now, who knows, you know, God forbid, who knows if Rogue News will be here tomorrow. So that Telegram's a great way to keep in touch with us at another source. And so click that link, and that's our free Telegram. You can join. We put announcements in there and answer questions from time to time.
We need a Patreon also, or something.
Something, yeah. Yeah, we have Twitter. There's a link to our Twitter in the I believe in the description. I'm not sure if it's in this one, but you can find us. We're getting all that going with our new site. There'll be all kinds of ways to find us, but for now, this is the easiest way.
Let's get this money.
All right, folks. Any last questions? We're gonna shut it down for the day and go start our Friday.
Yep.
This is take back Friday. We're already done with the weekend, so thank you for that. Awesome. Very cool.
Awesome. We thank everybody for attending. For those of you who are already members with the Watch Us Trade room, we thank you. We enjoy really having you, and have a wonderful weekend, and get ready for these markets come Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. It's going to be on and popping. To my knowledge, I don't have anywhere to be on Monday, so we should be able to get it Sunday night, and we should be able to put our tickets in Sunday night. All right. So get ready, you guys, to have it, have your guns cocked and ready, because we going shopping on Sunday night. Absolutely. We're going on a big shopping spree. And I can tell you, gold and bonds are on the list.
Absolutely.
Straight up.
Very cool. It's going to be a fun week. All right. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We're heading out. Link in the description. Join watchustrade.io. We'd love to have you. We have a bunch of people join every weekend after our webinars. We really appreciate that. And we'd love to see you in there this coming week. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Peace.